Alright, so here we go. Windows Server IaaS VM IP addressing and routing is something that every Azure cloud architect needs to master to ensure a top-notch cloud experience. When setting up IPs on your VMs, there's no one-size-F00B solution. You gotta tailor your approach based on your organizational needs. That's what I'm here to share, the nitty-gritty of deploying a system that's not just functional but also secure and manageable. We'll break this journey down into understandable chunks, focusing on making things as simple as possible. First things first, diving into the Azure portal, we are rolling up the sleeves and getting our hands dirty with resources. The starting point here is all about the network resources. As we spin up those Azure resources, specifically NSGs, IBCs, and virtual network peering, I've gotta make sure they're doing their job right. Setting up those NSGs to define inbound and outbound traffic policies is key to locking down our VM traffic, so no free rides through the cloud for unwanted visitors. Now, about those route tables, a real game changer in Azure for managing data flows. They're like the conductor of an orchestra, ensuring every bit of data reaches the right destination. Crafting those tables to match our organization's needs means playing the traffic management symphony flawlessly every day. I've got to make sure that when data hits the Azure cloud, it takes the perfect route and nothing else is on the receiving end. You wouldn't believe how much hanging onto a solid understanding of Azure IaaS architecture can pay off for troubleshooting, would you? Let's talk about the common mistakes that no one likes: duplicated interfaces, misused IP addresses, and, of course, the dreaded route leaks. If you dodge these, you can make the difference between a thunderous round of applause and a silent cloud. Diving into IAMs, you better believe we are getting to the core by managing Azure VM IAM roles. Who has access to what, in what way, when? It's a world of difference to maintain strong access controls and fine-tune permissions. Ensuring IAM aligns with RBAC policies gives your system a sturdy frame, making unauthorized access as hard as nailing jelly to a wall. Then come the tools, Terraform here, Terraform there, and myriad others at my fingertips. I've got my trusty IAC tools, all at my beck and call. They might as well be extensions of my arm, keeping my infrastructure in a constant state of elegant readiness. With these tools, I can whip up, tweak, and tear down my infrastructure just as I please without batting an eyelid. So, after weaving through best practices, I'm here to share my tried and true secrets. How to troubleshoot that sneaky bottleneck in a link from on the other side, spotting that mischievous misrouting causing our data to vanish into thin air, and then some. Solving these with confidence means your Azure VM feels like you're the maestro, and the data's flowing like harmonious notes on a piano. Now, let us ponder those advanced network and IP techniques, dynamic routing protocols to keep the traffic smooth as silk, even as we expand our infrastructure horizons. It's like having those extra musicians in the back just waiting to jump in when the tempo changes. By keeping the network flexible, agile, and resilient, we can grow without the jitters. As I share tales of triumphs and lessons learned, pepper your journey with my suggestions. From avoiding common pitfalls to implementing advanced security like SNI with TLS termination or deploying custom route tables based on complex business logic, I lay out every piece of a puzzle. Wrapping up this chat, remember, when life gives your VMs a bit of static, don't let it fry your circuits. Keep a cool head, for the cloud is ever-evolving, and your system just has to be ready for any crescendo. Here's to a successful Azure IaaS infrastructure, where not a data packet goes astray, and where the VMs perform each day, unhampered by a sneaky slip in our network. Now, if you need to discuss this further or just hear some more of my nuts and bolts Azure knowledge, I got channels for that. Visit neeraj.qzz.io and subscribe to TechLab. Together, let's keep making the clouds work for us, not against. Stay curious, stay prepared, and keep pushing the envelope on and off the cloud.